New this morning, crews are investigating an early fire that took over a home. We'll tell you how officials think it may have started and if anyone was hurt.
Trials begin. 3 high-profile trials get started this week in the Metro. We'll tell you who's at the center of them.
And going bowling, Iowa and Iowa State fans found out where their teams will play this year, what the coaches think of those selections. It's Monday, December 4th. Today in Iowa starts now.
From WHO HD, the local news leader. This is Channel 13 News, Today in Iowa.
It is 6:32. Good morning, everyone. We'll get to our breaking news in just a moment, but in the meantime, Megan joining me this week, filling in for Andy.
Yeah, and is it really December 4th? I mean, we're
Doesn't
like pulling out our spring clothes, trying to give another burst of those because it's just so nice outside this morning, but it's going to change, Jerry Ann.
Yeah, it's feeling like May this morning. It's warm and windy. And by the end of the day, the winds will be out of the northwest, and that's going to make it feel more like winter. A wind advisory will go into effect at 3 o'clock along and north of I-80. We're talking gusts as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour with that blast of cold air. In the meantime, not too bad. We're starting off in the 60s. That's the temperature right now. Plenty of clouds. There is some rain threatening. There's a chance off and on this morning. All looks extremely light. We will see some snowfall with that cold air in northwest Iowa by 5, 6 o'clock. That's going to stay right along the Iowa-Minnesota border, and it looks like it will stay cold and windy tonight. So temperatures really falling by the end of the day instead of warming up. At 9 a.m., 63. By noon, we'll tie a record on this day. We'll be up to 67, and by 3 o'clock, we'll still be in the upper 50s. It's overnight that will drop into the 20s. Notice the winds throughout the day out of the southwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour. We do have some more snow chances in the 7-day. I'll show you when and where coming up. Right now, we need to update you on the traffic with Jim Brown.
Good morning. We do have an accident working at East University and East 24th. East 24th and University looks like a head-on crash there. And East 29th Street shut down between Easton and East Washington due to a structure fire that Laura will tell you about in just a bit. On the freeway, this is 235 looking west from 42nd Street. No delays there. It is getting busier. Coming in from the east side, I-235 at Guthrie. Traffic is moving well. No delays on the freeway. We'll have an update straight ahead on Today in Iowa.
Okay, thank you so much. Breaking news this morning, as Jim mentioned, crews were called to reports of a house fire just about an hour ago.
And they are still working at the home trying to put out all the hot spots. It started at 1708 East 29th Street about an hour ago, and that's where we find Channel 13's Laura Barczewski, and she's here to tell us a little more information about what may have happened. It looks like maybe not as many firefighters on the scene now. Have they moved out, Laura?
Yeah, quite a few of them have moved out. When we arrived on scene, there were at least 5 fire trucks here. Again, we're near the intersection of Easton and East 29th Street. They said that the crews were arriving around 5:15. That's when they believe the start of fire a little earlier than that. I'm going to step out of the way here just so you can see. They believe the house was a total loss. There was one person in the house, and she was already outside when the crews arrived. On the scanner, I heard there might have been a pet still inside, and they're not sure if it made it out okay, but the woman who lived there did make it out okay. I believe the fire is completely out now, so crews are just working to make sure every inch of it is out and all the hot spots are out. Amy Montgomery, the district fire chief, said when they arrived, they could see flames coming from both sides of the house. So again, if you were headed to work and you live on East 29th Street or take that way in, make sure that you take another route. They do have part of the street still blocked off because they're still trying to make sure those hot spots are out. Again, the area is still heavy with smoke. There was only one house affected as far as we know. And again, the person made it out okay. Other than that, we don't know exactly what started the fire, but make sure, again, if you're heading into work, Easton and East 29th Street, you'll have some slowdown there.
Good to see they've got it under control and that the person living there was able to get out before being hurt. Thanks, Laura.
3 high-profile court cases are expected to continue in Iowa this week, including the trial of a mother accused of abusing and starving her 16-year-old adoptive daughter. Nicole Finn is charged in the murder of Natalie Finn. Natalie died from starvation back in 2015. So far, dispatchers and other first responders have taken the stand to talk about responding to the 911 call made 15 minutes after she went into cardiac arrest. That trial will continue at the Polk County Courthouse later this morning. A Des Moines woman who was first accused of endangering her children and then of stabbing her boyfriend is expected to be arraigned on child endangerment charges today. Police arrested Destiny Miller in October after officers say her children were found home alone, one covered in feces. Miller will be back in court on Wednesday to be arraigned on the assault charge for the incident with her boyfriend. And jury selection begins today in the case against Jason Carter, who's accused of killing his mother. 68-year-old Shirley Carter was found shot to death in the home back in June of 2015. Her husband Bill says he had dropped her off at home after a morning coffee before heading out to haul corn. He got a call from his daughter, who had said his son Jason found Shirley's body. Bill Carter filed a wrongful death lawsuit against his son Jason early last year, believing he pulled the trigger. His two other children are also named as plaintiffs. Jury selection in Marion County and is expected to last all day today. There are still no criminal charges filed in the case.
Urbandale police are investigating a car crash from Saturday night. It happened near the intersection of Hickman and Country Club Boulevard at around 6 o'clock. One car was flipped on its back and the other was split in two pieces. When police got there, both people involved in the crash were conscious and walking around, but were taken to the hospital. Neighbors say they're shocked that there were survivors, but glad no one was seriously injured.
I was amazed to hear that the people were still, conscious and they were walking even after getting ejected from the vehicle. And it was just happy to hear that.
That's amazing from seeing the pictures of those cars ripped in half and destroyed.
Police are still investigating what caused the crash, but some neighbors that we spoke to say often people in that area will be driving too fast, that stretch of Hickman at least, and they hope this crash is a reminder to slow down.
The Iowa Department of Transportation is getting into the holiday spirit while reminding drivers to travel safely. Every Monday, the DOT lights up signs above drivers traveling on the interstate. This week, they've incorporated a Christmas song in their safety slogan. It says, "Deck the halls, not the guy who cut you off." It comes with the reminder that there have been 304 traffic deaths this year. In 2016, there was a total of 404 traffic deaths, an increase of almost 100 from 2015.
One road is set to be closed for construction here in Des Moines starting today. The intersection of Woodland Avenue and 24th will be closed. City crews are making sewer repairs. The closure begins at 8:30 this morning and will last through December 8th.
It is 6:39 and schools across the country will participate in what's called National Computer Science Education Week. Students will learn about different careers in the field. Channel 13's Christina Salonikas is here with how one metro school is celebrating the week. Good morning.
Good morning, Megan. Computer Science Education Week is filled with teaching students different career paths in the industry, starting as early as kindergarten. At St. Teresa's Catholic School, the science teacher is having students learn to code on what is known as Hour of Code, where schools across the world go online and simply learn the skill. Other activities the students will be doing this week is putting together robots, as well as taking computer parts and making a computer work. One student says he loves that computer science is complicated.
I like how, if you mess up with one thing, the whole thing is done for and you have to, restart. And you could try again, and it could help with your strength of your thinking.
I want my students to be able to not get stopped up, not get frustrated or quit when they fail, but to learn from that and keep going until they can find some success.
The students I spoke with said they are most excited to put together a robot and use the computer to bring it to life. McCarthy hopes her students feel prepared when they move on to high school and take more science-related courses.
I love that what that student loves about computer science is that if something doesn't work, then they have to start all over. That would really frustrate me.
It's kind of like putting together a puzzle in a way. You know, you got to make sure every piece fits the right way. But yeah, they all love how complicated it is, and it's a challenge for them.
Smart kids. Okay, thanks so much, Christina.
Well, a lot of people around the country were looking up at the sky last night because of something that was pretty spectacular. The one and only supermoon of the year. The supermoon tends to be brighter and appear to be larger than its usual size. These are images from what it looked like in Washington, D.C. and Japan. Good news if you missed it. It will happen again twice in January. The one at the end of the month is supposed to be the best one, and we missed it here pretty much, Jerry Ann, right, because of the clouds.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know if maybe at the beginning of last night some people were able to get a little peek, or.
Well, we were out grilling on Saturday night. You know, that wasn't the supermoon, but it was still looking pretty cool. But as you just mentioned, we've got more chances coming up in January, and the one at the end of the month looks even cooler. It's looking really cold in the 7-day forecast after today. You're waking up to the 60s. I need to let you know the record today is 67, set back on this date in 1998. It looks like we'll tie or even break it by the end of the day. We also have some snow chances in the forecast. Stay with us. I'll have more on all of this when we come back.
From WHO HD, the local news leader. You're watching Channel 13 News, Today in Iowa.